Hey folks, welcome back to another channel. Boozer here. Hope you guys are having a good CVC so far. In today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm actually in my clanmate Breezy's account. She is a totally free-to-play player, and she's been playing the game for about just under a year and a half, shortly after the Deliana promo. And she said, hey, you want to take a look at my account, see where I can improve, and hopefully make sure that I'm on track for everything. And obviously I said, oh, happy to help, of course, clanmate and all. So I'm going to take a look at her account, and we'll go over anything that we see that might help her out in her pursuit to progress. So let's jump right into it. All right, so first things first, let's jump into her actual resources. So if we look at her account, she's got 5.4 player power, which is about standard for, I guess, a year and a half player. She's level 90. I think that's a little bit on the low side, but that's not a big deal. Levels can come pretty easily. You see that she has a healthy amount of silver, a unhealthily high amount of gems, which is interesting, but it's kind of like a nice emergency if you have this many gems, obviously for fusions and stuff. However, when you're still like level 90, still progressing through the game, you kind of want to convert your gems into resources like gear or winning tournaments and so forth. So we could maybe use those gems a little bit more efficiently, but I understand the means of saving them. It looks like she is in the here she is. She's 2 keying Ultra Nightmare. We have a pretty unconventional team here. You got Duchess, Geo, Newt, Mithrala, and Python. Very interesting team, but it looks like she's 2 keying pretty comfortably, and I would assume she would 1 key pretty easily. Nightmare as well. Let's see where she's at. Oh, she didn't 1 key Nightmare? Come on now. Come on now. She didn't 1 key Nightmare? Guess she's waiting for a key. 15 minutes, we can do that for her. I guess her clan progress, Nightmare is open. She hasn't done her keys yet. Maybe we'll have a look at that in a second. Let's jump into her Great Hall. How's she progressing there? 143, I think that's pretty good. 110 and 1, definitely keeping up on her battles, so good for her. Gold 5, very good. Very good progress on her medals, so looking very solid over here. Definitely looking good. Tons of mystery shards, gonna make champion chases for fusions and whatnot quite easy. Got about 100 ancients saved and a ton of sacred shards. She's got 34 sacred shards saved up. Looks like she saved up all her primals as well, so she can definitely handle any summon rush for fusions. 1+1 or guarantees from sacred shards. You probably just emptied her void shards for the 2x, so can't really fault her there. Still looking for those nice void legendaries. She's missing a lot of pieces for Mikagi, which is totally makes sense at her level. She's got a lot of nice fragments saved up. So far this account looks really solid, to be honest. All right, let's jump into the other areas of the game for her. What do we got here? Iron Twins. She doing 15. She is doing 15. About 2 minutes. What's her team here? No keys for today. What's her team? What else has she got here? Minotaur in 17 seconds, very good, very solid. Ice Golem 25 and 4, haven't really touched hard. She can definitely do it. She has Python Mithrala, definitely can do it. Spider 8, definitely can probably muster up some teams for Spider as well. So maybe we'll look at some of her dungeon teams. Maybe we can optimize a little bit for her here. So jump into hard here. We got Hard Dragon at 2 minutes. Don't want to pump one of those energies out yet. Let's see, Fire Knight hard 25, 241. That's about right. Level 6 on hard. Very good, actually. Very good. Sand Devil. Actually, you don't expect an account like this to be on hard Fire Knight 6. So actually very good. Stuck in Sand Devil here, level 13. Okay, and didn't even bother with Shogun, understandable. Very nice. Faction Wars, looks like we are stuck at 18 points. So 18, we're still on this tier, so we're pretty far from Lydia actually. So let's see what we can do for Faction Wars. She probably got caught after these 2 factions opened. Sylvan Sylvan Watcher and Shadowkin. So she was Lydia would be a bit farther away for her. Let's see here. Night Revenant, 34 stars only. Definitely need some help here. Undead Hordes. Orcs close. Close. Banner Lords. Dwarves. Shadowkin. Sylvan Watchers. So the two new ones. Dwarf. Banner Lord. Night Rev. Night Rev is going to be trouble. And Undead Horde. Okay, so she's at 21. Yeah, she still needs a ton of 3 stars going on here. So let's see what we can do here. Maybe we can take a look at the roster. And let's have a quick look at what we're working with. A lot of nice 60s here. I'm seeing 60s popping up at me. That's good. Year and a half account, so definitely expect to see quite a bit. We got a full stone skin. Death Knight here. High resistance, very low HP. Unfortunately, this guy's not going to really take too much of a hit. HP, yeah, HP boots. She got the correct bottom parts, but it looks like she definitely prioritized the defense here over the HP. HP is definitely a little bit on the low side. I mean, very low. Masteries, sure, unshakable. Got Mishnaki, a 4-star Mishnaki in Relentless, looks good. She said that she does not use the HH optimizer, which is interesting. So maybe we can help her out with the optimizer a bit here. Look at her Wukong. This is I would say this is a late game account. I wouldn't say it's like super end game or anything. Obviously, there's lots of room for improvement. So this is a pretty slow, it's basically like a nuke build, but it looks very good, very solid. Savage, Lethal, Cruel, Mithrala, 3 stars. She actually has some decent blessings here as well. Like I said, totally free to play player, still has some blessings, so she's definitely on top of the Iron Twins. This is her Mithrala. Accuracy gear, fair amount of accuracy and resistance, nothing insane, but fair. So Cavalax, also fair build. She probably wants damage on her Cavalax. Looks like she's just using her just for the accuracy. What does the Duchess look like? Got some good HP, good defense, good speed. Yeah, and protection. 6-piece protection. I mean, looks very good. Looks very solid. We got your Carl here for damage. Built for damage. 99% crit rate. Nice. It's interesting because she doesn't use the optimizer. How does... These builds actually look pretty good. So I wonder what it would look like if she actually used optimizer. 352 Arbiter. So year and a half account, 352 Arbiter. We got Nishak here. Yep, looks fine. 7,000 attack. Uko, what's Uko doing here? Good accuracy, good speed. Just generic pieces though, so no stun set or anything like that. What other key champions does she have? Elhain, one of her nukers, I guess. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty solid build. Nothing too insane. Lethal with Cruel, very good. Pythion looks like another champion she uses. He's got no resistance, high HP. Okay, high HP, decent speed in regen. Regen's probably not needed for Pythion because Pythion has pretty good heals himself. But I mean, passive healing is always kind of nice on a big support tank. Here's our Artak, probably a key champion for her. 300 accuracy, so probably good enough for Brutal. Jag Bonesaw in damage gear, lethal gear. Wow, he's jacked up on crit damage, but pretty low attack. Got some accuracy here. I have no idea what he does. Actually booked, so she's actually using this guy. That's cool. Never seen this guy actually use, so. And even a blessing on that's kind of interesting. Bivold, looks like Bivold's for Hydra. Yeah, good Hydra build, very good. Good Hydra build. You probably want resistance on Bivold if you can swing it, because Bivold will get targeted will get targeted by the Hydra head. Mischief, because one of his skills applies strengthen on himself. What's that? Niche, Snick Track, good, decent build. I mean, workable, especially for some Hydra, lower end Hydra. Yep, Lysandra here must be her number 2. Looks fine. Emic, what's Emic doing here? Emic, slow, high HP, Guardian. Not sure what you would use this for. All right, let's check out the Seer here. Seer's not in Savage. Tons of accuracy, probably too much accuracy, to be honest. But is in Instinct, so not as good as Savage, but not terrible, probably still okay. Here's the nut in broken gear, decent build, good accuracy looks fine. Probably could pump more crit damage because he's in broken gear, but overall the build looks super good. Rhonda in random pieces, not super strong here, probably not one of his main damage dealers. What else you got going on here? You got Relentless Husk, looks good. A little bit slow for like Nightmare, for example, but decent everywhere else. Good accuracy as well. What else? These champions are actually built and looks like they're used. Magnar at 99%. I mean, there's lots of work done on this account. It looks good, to be honest. 500 accuracy, Geomancer, probably for Iron Twins, I think. Maybe Iron Twins. I think Iron Twins needs a little bit more accuracy, but 500 accuracy Geo with War Master. Yep, good. What's this Cold Heart looking? Looks like she knows what she's doing here. Got 270 crit damage on the Cold Heart. What else she got? Let's check out her other legendaries here. Year and a half account. I mean, not super lucky with the legendaries. She got a double Lanathro, double Nishak, double Razin, double Yakarl. So not super lucky. But she got some workable legendaries here. Obviously, Mishnaki is very, very good. Calvlax is good. Duchess, massive pull, of course. Everyone else is kind of like, yeah, fusions are good, and of course, you know, Lysandra is good and all that, but nothing really insane. At least she has a seer, so very good. We don't see a Demitha or anything. Let's see, do we have a Demitha somewhere? Maybe we can progress her account to a 1 key. Alright, well, let's check out what her stash looks like. Alright, so I think seeing all this blue gear, you can probably get rid of this blue gear. The gearing is probably not there yet. Although some of the champions I saw, the gear looks pretty decent. Her accessories probably need to be hella cleansed here. Yeah, definitely needs a cleanse for the accessories. 5-star, any 5-star gear can go. Are these speed boots? They are speed boots, at least 5-star speed boots. That's something. I'll take a quick look at the gear and then see if I can remove some pieces. So we'll start with that and be right back. Actually, it might be beneficial for everyone watching to actually see what I would do for a kind of mid-game account here. So I think the first thing I would do is probably look at what her top end gear looks like. So I think I would first look for like crit damage gloves to see if she actually has like good enough gloves to crit damage. I think she should have good enough gloves. Yeah, she has a pretty good assortment, so that means 5-star crit damage gloves would be removed, for example. And then we can check out the 6-star speed boots. Let's see what she's packing here. Yeah, she has a decent amount. Like, she has definitely access to 6-star boots, so 5-star boots are looking, you know, pretty weak nowadays, like pretty weak right now for her account, so those can probably go. But I can totally understand her keeping 5-star gear, especially bottom row pieces like HP percent and all that stuff. So we might be a little bit more flexible with that. So let's just jump into it. So basically, like, obviously, life set, you're looking for like HP rolls or whatever. 5-star, like this kind of gear is just definitely garbage, right? There might be a reason why she's keeping it. There's probably no reason to keep 2 pieces of speed gear unless she wants to ascend them for additional speed. I mean, she has 3 speed boots here and then a res chest. Doesn't really make sense to keep these, but I mean, I'm not gonna cleanse her too hard because she's still at 800 cap. She got 500 more space, so she can do this on her own. But I'm gonna go through some of these pieces here. So this one, like, you're going for defense. Unless you have proper defense stats, you probably don't, you know, you don't need this set at all. And 5-star gear, like this one would be a like insta sell, right? Like, for example, you just don't need that kind of gear on this. For speed set, you're looking for speed substats, and then you're looking for 6-star pieces, of course, or 5-star good rolls, of course. If it doesn't have speed, it needs something else. Like, for example, this helm's totally useless. But I'll be pretty loose with some of these keeps here. Like I said, she has plenty of silver, space. She doesn't necessarily need to cleanse super hard here. So also she's still progressing through faction wars, so some of these pieces, like for example this one, HP percent roll, no speed, still kind of useful if you want to complete the set just for like a support character for faction wars. Yeah, so 16 here. Yeah, so I don't want to go, yeah, maybe I won't go over every single piece, but these 5-star speed boots probably are gone. However, she doesn't show any 6-star speed boots in the stash currently, so maybe she wants to keep these for speed ascension rolls, for example. Crit rate, you want crit rate, right? Obviously to connect, like something like this, that's going to go for sure. Even this one's probably going to go with no speed attached to it. And then she has good shield and then good glove, so she can just pair these two together for easy crit rate if she wants to do that. 5-star flat roll here. Res crit damage, you're not going to go res crit damage ever. This is kind of a weak chest to be honest, but if you quad speed, it's a keep, right? No accuracy, so I mean that's gone. This one has accuracy, she can roll if she wants. This one has speed, so keep that. Resistance gear, no speed, no accuracy, no speed, no resistance. It's probably gone, but with a count like at this stage in the game, if you triple or quad rate damage or accuracy, like you could use this as an off piece. Yeah, so like, you know, these ones don't even have speed, don't have resistance, so it's not really anything, but because they're HP percent gloves and she's still progressing through faction wars, might be worth keeping. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go over this just real quick. Like this helm is just like pointless to keep. And we'll be back after I'm done going through it. Alright, I did a relatively small cleanse for her, just 45 items, so about 5% of her total inventory. I didn't touch any of her Doom Tower sets or Forge Pass sets, so obviously these items will be in short supply, limited way to farm them, so I'll leave it up to her. But I cleaned up a bunch of her lower tier gear. She definitely has outgrown 5-star rares, for example, and she has multiples of many items. So she has to, that are unrolled, so she definitely needs to spend some time rolling, but in due time. So let's get rid of this 45 items. So hopping over to her accessories, definitely could use a cleanse. Not much is rolled. She has a lot of 6-star items. So this is going to be a bit hard to cleanse. She's nearing the cap as well. So I think we'll have to, I'll take a quick look, and if I can do a quick cleanse on this, then I will do that. So let's jump into this. Alright, so on first look, I'm selecting amulets that are attack. So this is the easiest first check for accessories, and she has basically kept 84 of these accessories. This is way too much for this. Basically, attack amulets are best on bomb champions, and in very rare cases, if you hit a quad crit damage, it might be good on somebody with low attack, with low base attack, where flat attack on the amulet could scale better than crit damage if it had crit damage like sub rolls. That's very rare. So definitely most of this, maybe you only keep one from this 84. So I'm going to go over this real quick and then see if we can just clear some space. Alright, so I'm going to end up selling 76 of the 84. We ended up keeping the reaction pieces so she can reroll. I ended up keeping the pieces for skinwalkers because she probably is rolling these for a bomb champion from skinwalkers that she has. I'm going to keep the stone skin piece because she can ore these, and I will keep 2 of the Ogun tribes because I know they have some bomb champions there, so just in case she needs them in the future. But all of these are definitely goners here, so I'm just going to sell it all. Easy 6 million in the bank, and then we'll hop into the other pieces and see what she's working with. Alright, so just hopping into her 5-star rare pieces. Now I understand why she kept most of these banners. They all have speed on them, so I think for an account like this, a 5-star banner still might be useful, especially for something like accuracy. So I'm just going to leave these banners with her. It looks like she did comb through them so that she kept the speed ones only. I did help clean up some of her weaker 5-star rings and amulets, so we'll just leave the rest with her and then sell those 12 pieces. But she definitely kept the ones with speed, which is very good already. So I think we're probably pretty good for the accessories. We gave her a little bit extra room there, made her a bunch of silver. Not like she really needed it, but so far the account looks really strong. Let's see what we can make in terms of let's hop in the optimizer real quick and see what we can do for some of her builds. All right, folks, so she actually says she does not use the optimizer at all, which is actually pretty impressive given that most of her builds are actually pretty good. So let's hop into her Wukong, which looks like is her main nuking champion. 4-star blessed, so she did go for the 4-star Wukong event. Good for her, so it's very worth it for her. Her Wukong looks very solid, a little bit slow, no accuracy, but just pure damage. Let's see if we can crank it up with the optimizer and see what we can actually get. So we're gonna go optimizer, damage, use everything. Let's keep the same stats at 190 speed, no accuracy, full damage, okay? Let's see what we can pull up here. Let's see how good her build is relative to what the optimizer would give her. So the optimizer is spitting out about 800 more attack and about 15 more crit damage. Okay, so let's take a look at what we need. Looks like the best gear is actually on Elhain. So Supreme Elhain actually has the best gear on her at this moment. So if she wanted to, so Breezy, if you wanted to, you could hop into Elhain, take all her gear, and your Wukong would be 800 attack stronger and 14 crit damage stronger. So that's pretty significant. Of course, that's going to be up to you if you want to do that. Second build would be, again, all Elhain's gear. And interestingly enough, it's her attack amulet with triple crit damage, similar to what I was saying, how the triple or quad crit damage sub roll can outscale can outscale with the flat HP main, flat attack main on the amulet. So yeah, but obviously she might not have a 6-star crit damage amulet, maybe, I'm not sure, but it looks like the best gear is on Elhain. So let's see what else we can do for her. How about we look at her ultimate Death Knight, which is her highest blessed champion. So let's see what we can do for her here. It looks like she's going for some resistance in 6-piece stone skin. So let's see what we can do for her here. So let's say no speed, let's say 105, let's say 110 max, maximum HP, maximum resistance with stone skin 6-piece. Maybe this is helpful for some of you guys that actually don't use the optimizer. It's an incredible tool. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you guys use this. If you guys don't use this, if you guys need help setting this up, leave me a comment and I'll definitely respond to you. But so we're gonna go 6-piece, and let's use all pieces on her account, and let's see what the optimizer gives us for this ultimate Death Knight. So it looks like it can crank out, quite a bit more. Let's see here. So it's cranking out an extra 13k HP. It's losing quite a bit of defense, so that's probably where it's taking it from. It looks like it's using crit rate gloves, but it has an extra 65 resistance. So it looks like the gear is coming from, she has a better res chest here. So some of her HP gear is on her nuker, for example. Yeah, so this is like an example. Obviously you're giving up quite a bit of defense. We can check the parameters here a little bit. Is there a better defensive build? Let's go with 4,000 defense. How about that? And then we'll increase the speed. Maybe her gear is not as flexible with the speed restriction. So let's do this. Let's see what we want to really bump up that HP here without sacrificing too much resistance. So she's got 655 resistance, so about 40 more resistance. Got 15k extra HP, lost 1,000 defense. So this is the build here. 6-star defense gloves. seems okay. I mean, you can ascend this with HP percentage. And then you have a HP percentage boot on this champion Grohawk here, so you can definitely take that off of him. So Breezy, if you're watching, you can definitely check out some of these builds here that got spit out. They might be better for you to slap this on Ultimate Death Knight next chance you get. So I'll check out some other builds just so you get an idea here. So look at this build, for example. You can check out the gear here. These are all just loose pieces. So you can just slap them on. It's probably an improvement. You want no speed on your Ultimate Death Knight just because it looks like Grohawk got some HP pieces here. Yeah, so yeah, these are some of the builds. This one might be better too. Yeah, you got three pieces here just in your stash. You can do a little bit of improvement. Check out these stats here. All right, so let's hop to another champion. Let's see, is Arbiter actually the fastest champion with the fastest gear on your account? Let's have a quick check on this. Because maybe it's, you never know. We'll do this little service for her. Let's see here. So I guess we should do this and then optimize. Yeah. So we're looking for the fastest gear on this account, and 356 is the fastest. So she's packing 352. That's not the fastest gear on this account. Looks like Lanathro has the glove that is faster, and Wukong has a ascended 6-star boot. Oops. So you have to find the ascended boot. She doesn't have an ascended 6-star boot. I would recommend farming Nightmare for a 6-star boot and then trying to ascend for speed. Like, that's an extra easy 12 speed. You got to do it. Okay, easy 12 speed. So you probably don't want to break up these builds on these other two champions just for 4 speed, but I definitely recommend going to Nightmare campaign, farming 6-star speed boot level, hoping for speed boots on common boots, and then trying to ascend your speed. That's an easy 12 speed. It's probably easier than farming, speed gear from Dragon, for example. So definitely go there. Any other build we want to check out? Mainish build. Why not we check out the Nutman? Nutman should be a pretty main champion for her in most areas. Her build looks very okay. So I think, what is she looking at? She's looking at 230 speed. Let's give him 310 accuracy. Let's give him 100 crit rate. And then can we do 240? Can we do actually, let's see. Let's give him damage preset. Damage preset. Damage preset. Okay, let's try that. It's not using the best gear on account, but let's see what it can spit out. She doesn't have that much gear on her account, so the builds would be pretty quick to spit out, I think. So right away, we're getting some slightly better builds. Same defense, extra 10 crit damage here, extra speed. Not in lethal, so this, you can check out this build here. It is slightly better. Slightly better build. This build also has some gear from your Cold Heart. So these are just examples. Just pause the screen if you want to take the builds, obviously. This one looks viable. Lose a bit of HP, gain a lot of defense. Lose a bit of crit damage. These are probably not like clear upgrades, so actually not bad. So she did pretty good for herself, considering that her gearing without the optimizer. What about Duchess? Can we improve this Duchess? Got 300 speed, 6-piece protection Duchess. Let's see here. So protection Duchess set. Protection. Let's go 6-piece first. Stats. Max speed. Max HP. Let's see what you can get. Let's see best on account. What do we got? All right, so you got 96k HP here, extra 20k HP. You lose a ton of defense, and then you lose about 13 speed. So you're definitely giving up quite a bit here. You're taking Pythion's glove, and then you're swapping out some chests and stuff. But honestly, the extra HP might be better than the extra speed, to be honest. So I would probably consider some of these builds. Definitely have a look. Like for example here, you can definitely lift up the speed, for example. These aren't super slow, like 287 not super slow. And you only really have to swap 2 pieces, and 1 piece is in your bin. And then you can glyph up some of these pieces if you want. Let's see, like for example, like 277. You got a speed roll here, you can glyph up. Yeah, so these builds are reasonable. That's a good chunk of HP, so Duchess can definitely be improved here. So these are just examples of how the optimizer would basically take some of your builds and just enhance them overall. Let's go over to Faction Wars, because she was mentioning and complaining about how her Lydia progress was not up to par. So we noticed that Knight Revs was having a little bit of difficulty for her. She had very low stars on Knight Rev. So let's have a look at her Knight Revs. I see some good champions already, so this is going to come down to like a little bit of a will, whether you have the will to continue to do some of these things. So Knight Rev, you got Cavalax, Whisper, Rector Draft, Doom Priest, and Skull Crown. These are all very good. These 5, that's your 5. You got damage here, you got Reviver, you got Healer, you got more damage, you got more damage. So on 21, you got the Valkyrie Wave. You need the Skull Crown with her AoEs to be in a stun set. So you need a stun set on Skull Crown. So I would recommend building Skull Crown eventually. Master her, she's very good. She'll definitely help you, and you'll be using her for farming Faction Wars forever. Cavalax for damage. Rector is her build viable. She's fast. Some HP, nothing insane, but this should be okay. I would definitely level up Doom Priest as well. She's very good for Faction Wars, very good for some Doom Tower levels as well. But she does have Duchess, so it's not a big deal. But Doom Priest overall is actually a good champion. She can be used in Hydra as well. We'll check out some of her Hydra teams as well. Whisper, she is ready to go. She got some damage, accuracy, so she's ready to go. So these 5 can do it for you. You just have to level them up, okay? Especially considering that you're only like level 34 stars. So you can definitely do better than this, okay? So Undead Horde, we'll have a quick look at Undead Horde, and then she needs some help on Dwarf Shadowkin. It could be just a roster thing. She might not have anything for a roster. So Dwarf, Shadowkin, and Sylvan Watcher. So the last factions, basically. The last 3 factions, and Undead. So you got Nut, Geomancer, Mountain King. Okay. Rearguard's actually really good. She's a good protector. I believe she has attack down. She has attack down. She's not booked. I mean, it's something to do. You're gonna have to build some of these out eventually, so at least like probably 50s. But you have Nut's a huge champion here. Let's see, anything in the vault for dwarves. Gala some damage, but you might not want to commit too much resources to another like damage dealer. And nothing in this vault. Yeah, so nothing too much help from the dwarf vault. Rockbreaker can help. I mean, yeah, like this guy's not gonna be too much help. So you're running Nut, Geomancer, probably Rearguard Sergeant, 1 Mountain King. You can put Mountain King in a shield set, that'll protect your whole team. She brings an ally attack, continuous heals, protect your whole team. And then you can bring some damage with the Nut, Geomancer. It's going to be a little bit of a tougher fight, tougher faction, but I think you have some champions here to work with. So hopefully you can get one more champion coming down the line. Moving on to Shadowkin, you got Mishinaki, that's great. Gembo for some damage if you need it. Taragi is actually really good. He has Provoke, Shield, Ally Protection. So definitely consider leveling him up. Just protect your team. Not too much else, I think, would really help here. Yeah, not too much else. Mishinaki, I mean, Yoshi has Fears. That can be helpful. I'd probably go for another damage dealer, so maybe Gembo. Gembo is similar to Skull Crown, so you just level him up, give him damage gear, and he can do some work. For Sylvan Watcher, I mean, you have Emic, so unkillable. You have Ornn, which is just the unkillable tank if you give him regen gear. This guy, Daithi, does a ton of damage by himself. Nia, get Nia in there. Yeah, you just have to pull Nia out, build her. Pull Ruella out, build her, and you're probably pretty much done. Or you can build a second Daithi if you want. This guy deals so much damage. He has extra turn mechanic, AoE decreased defense, and then you have the unkillable here with the ally protection, decreased speed. This is a very easy faction with your champions, so you can definitely do this very easily. So undead. So I'm just gonna go over the undead here real quick. How bad is the undead? How bad? You got Ultimate Death Knight, Vogoth, Husk, Banshee. What else you got? Gore Grab, there it is. This guy's the key. You need this guy. This guy's the key. Yep. Anybody else? Undead? Nope. This guy's the key. So if you 60 him, make him like a mega tank, you basically clear this easily. You clear this very easily. The problem with Frozen Banshee is that she doesn't do any damage until you get to the boss. So what you could do is gear him well, and then you can go with, I mean, you can slow crawl through it with just Husk. Husk would be negative affinity against those Valk waves. You could use this Harvest Jack. He can steal the shields and stuff like that, but he's not going to deal any damage. You're going to need a damage dealer for undead. I mean, you'll look for it, you'll find it. Okay. Alright, so I did mention that she was progressing through some of the dungeons, and it felt like she could be higher in overall progression. So we'll just jump into these dungeons and give her some options for some higher teams. We'll just use the HH optimizer for this part. So let's go for Ice Golem. Let's see what she can do here based on the optimizer. So we jump into the optimizer. We're going to use Team Optimizer. Let's jump into Ice Golem. Ice Golem will go hard, and then we'll go to hard 10. See if she has any team comp that can do hard 10. She does have an R-Tac, so she needs an R-Tac that can do hard 10. So these are just some team suggestions. Not the best teams. Obviously, you got some 3-minute teams here. Yeah, so not the fastest teams, but she can definitely get through it. Looks like it's Seer for the waves, and then you got Pythion R-Tac for the finish. Obviously, like, her R-Tac needs to be in regen gear. So that's going to be a gearing issue. We can go down to, let's do hard 5. So hard 5, she can do it with just R-Tac. Again, we just need regen gear, so that's going to be an option for you. So Ice Golem will always be an option for you as soon as you get the regen gear for R-Tac. So moving on, we got Spider. Spider should be one of the easier teams to be able to do really high stages. So let's jump into Spider, and we'll do a hard 10. See what kind of team comps will work for her. Let's see here. We'll do success, high success rate, high number of battles. So you got Rollguard, Husk, Coldheart, Mithrala, and Nut. 29 seconds. Looks like a pretty solid team. This team's a Poison Exploder team. Also pretty solid. Lots of wins here. So you definitely have some options, Breezy. You just need some max HP hitters, and then obviously Nut here. Surprised that this is 100%. It might 3, 4, 5. I guess the Hex. If the Hex doesn't fall off, you got it. But if the Hex falls off, then you don't. So definitely look into some of these builds. Check out the speeds here. I mean, the speeds are kind of fast, but you don't really need it that fast. The Spider is 245. So either you need a speed aura or increased speed, or you have your champs over 245 to kill the Spider in one hit. All right. So just some suggestions, just some ideas for you. But you definitely have the champs to do it. It's whether you have the gear. So we got Dragon Hard 10. All right, Dragon Hard 10, that's fine, but see if we can optimize a better team for you. So Dragon Hard 10. Let's go Dragon Hard 10. What do we got here? We want more battles just for a more consistent team. So we got Nishak soloing it in 2 minutes. That's pretty good. Soloing hard 10 in 2 minutes. I mean, it's probably just regen gear, but that's really nice. You got a 100% win rate team here with Seer, Duchess, Mithrala, the Rat, and Nut. So I guess you clear the waves with Seer, you get to the Dragon, and then it's going to be the Nut, Rat, Mithrala show at the end. So that's just some suggestion for you. Not going to be super fast because you don't have the, I guess, proper poisoner, but still going to be pretty good team here. So let's move on to the next dungeon, which is Fire Knight. I mean, if you're doing Fire Knight 6, that's really good. It's really impressive already. I guess she was doing the challenges, but you probably don't need a suggestion here, so that's a really good job for you. Sand Devil, I mean, this thing's just a giant mess, so I'm not going to jump into that right now. It's whether you want to do it. I suggest, you know, probably hold off of it unless you have some time. Let's take a quick look at Hydra. She's doing 1 key normal, hard, and brutal, but based on what I'm seeing, I think she can do Nightmare. So I'm going to try a key on Nightmare on Hydra for her and see if I can give her her personal best. So I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the best key I got. It's just one attempt though, so only 15 minutes, 22 million on Nightmare. There's some things that we can go over here. Her account is basically not ready for Nightmare, but I think with 5 of these champions, she's missing 1 good champion to replace Snick Tracks here. I'll go over that in a second here. But you got Nut, Mishnaki leading the damage. Inquisitor Shamel versus Torment Head, very good. Snick Track actually doing some damage, I guess probably from Brimstone. I'm not sure if the reflect damage does much, but we'll go over. We're not going to keep this key, but we'll go over this team. And we'll go over what we found out from this team and what she needs to take the next step into Nightmare. Because she told me that she does about 50 million on Brutal. So her next step, of course, is to go into Nightmare. But this team definitely, or her roster definitely is not enough for Nightmare at this moment. So let's jump into the champions here and I'll go over some things real quick. Alright, so Mishinaki here, Relentless build, seems fine. Damage, low crit damage, but it's fine. The accuracy was a little bit on the low end, to be honest. He was failing some of the hexes against the Hydras on Nightmare, so the accuracy needs to go up a little bit. So for him, otherwise the build is fine. He's not doing insane amounts of damage, but it is okay. The other, let's see what else is on his team. Snick Tracks, I was using Snick Tracks mainly for his decreased speed. She doesn't really have another decreased speed champion. She has increased speed with Mighty Uko, but he's more of a carry, so I don't want to use him along with all her best champions just for Nightmare. That means she won't be able to clear Brutal. So I was trying to use Snick Tracks for decreased speed. She doesn't really have another decreased speed champion. She has Visix, but Visix is not built out, so I couldn't use anybody. And she didn't really have anybody else, so I tried to use Snick Tracks, but his accuracy was not up to par. He needs at least 330 accuracy, so it wasn't working out too good. Although I was actually quite impressed with his A3 keeping the team alive. So the team didn't have too much problem surviving. The team lasted over 120 turns, but it just wasn't doing enough damage because there was no increased speed on the whole team. So let's see. So Bivol was also kind of getting resisted. 330 accuracy is basically like borderline for Nightmare Hydra. But overall stats were fine, but he was getting resisted once in a while, and that was a little bit annoying. Otherwise, it's a perfectly fine build for Nightmare, so I'll keep him as is. Nut, perfectly fine build for Nightmare as well. He was max damaging, max capping on each hit, so very very good build. Who else did I use? Shamel was doing perfectly fine as well. Decent damage, survived pretty good, especially with Snick Tracks. Ugo, good accuracy, good speed, good HP, so perfectly fine build for Ugo as well. No issues here as well. So the biggest issue I had with that was basically Snick Tracks decreased speed, but that's probably because Snick Tracks was just not a champion for Nightmare. And I did have some resist with Bivol, which might have just been unlucky, but overall I don't think her her team is ready for Nightmare at the moment. I think if we had a good decrease speed and a good increase speed, maybe after Lydia comes in, and then you can run Uko or something, and then or run Uko with somebody else. Then this team probably takes on Nightmare. We got 22 mil, not bad. You know, we lasted a long time. We just need some damage, right? We just need a bit more damage. I mean, we're running Mishinaki as well, like so. But yeah, overall, increased speed would definitely help damage out a little bit. But yeah, she's on her way. Okay, so anyways, that's probably going to be it for this. It's a pretty long, full-on takeover kind of review, kind of what's next for her. I mean, this account's a 1.5 years old. It looks great. Like, considering that she hasn't been using the optimizer for anything, it looks great in terms of like overall builds, progress, and everything. Yeah, and she's very active in the game. She has a ton of gems, so that gives her some flexibilities for fusions and stuff. She has tons of sacreds. She has 34 sacreds here. So it gives her a lot of room to maneuver around fusions and all that stuff. So definitely a good looking account for 180 days. Needs to work on that faction wars. Faction wars here, I think Undead might be difficult because she doesn't really have a strong DPS outside of Husk. Night Rev will be difficult, but she does have good champions to deal with that. And then as I was saying, Dwarf might be some problems, but it should be fine. Shadowkin, you have Taragi, which will carry you. Sylvan Watcher is an easy carry as well as soon as you gear up some of your champions. And then the rest would just fall into place. So Lydia should come pretty easily if you just focus on her for the next month or 6 weeks or so. But you know, it obviously depends on whatever. Some dungeon optimization on teams definitely can do that. And yeah, Hydra, Nightmare Hydra, just right there. So you're basically doing super good. Very late game-ish account. Obviously still missing Lydia, but looking very strong. I think where's she on Ramontu? Actually, she's pretty close to Ramontu. Is she? Yeah, she's really close to Ramontu. She might get Ramontu before Lydia. Is that possible? No way. No. She's very far away. 63 new missions. Sorry. She's far away. She should get Lydia before Ramontu. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Let me know in the comments below if you like these kind of videos. I mean, I kind of just did this just for fun, just to help out a clanmate, give her a review and what's next on her account. I'm sure she'll appreciate some of the tips, the optimization that was mentioned in this video. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think, what you guys want to see. If you guys have any suggestions, maybe I missed something on this account. If you guys prefer these types of videos, what else do you want to see? Do you want me to see me like build teams? Do you want to see me strip champions, put new champions together, roll gear, whatever? Okay, just let me know in the comments below. And yeah, like I said, appreciate your time, and I'll see you guys in the next video.